Hello, everyone. It's Talia here, coming to you live with another episode of Agents in the Trenches. And this is just a space and a place where we talk all things real estate, business, mindset. I mean, you name it, we want to cover it. So, thank you so much for joining us. If you are watching live, go ahead and comment hashtag live. If you're watching this on the replay, comment hashtag replay. This allows us to see what times people are tuning in. But I'm super excited to be here today, and I'm super excited to bring on our guest pretty soon, who will, who has been through a little bit of a transition, and we are going to talk a little bit about that and really pull back the curtains. But it's going to be an amazing conversation. And I just want to mention, if you're watching this and there's a specific subject or a topic or something that you want us to talk about and find a guest to speak on, feel free to leave us a comment below, message us, let us know, because this is meant to give value. This is meant to, talk on what's going on in the industry or in life or in business or whatever, because more likely than not, there's someone that's facing a similar situation. So we like to talk about that. We like to be the voice of that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in our guest, Colleen Kide. Hi.
Hi everyone. My name is Colleen, and I am the owner and operator of Three Palms Media, which is a real estate, photography, videography, and branding company. So we handle all media that has to do with real estate. I run this business with my husband, Tim, who is currently out shooting said real estate. So it is myself and Tim and our team of a couple people that are photographers as well. And we just love being part of the community and all the people that we've gotten to meet and the relationships that we've been able to form since launching our business late last year.
Yes, so let's talk about that, because if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, you started off the year working in corporate, right? And now you're ending the year as a full-time business owner, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Cheers
So
to
I know that's a huge accomplishment. Like, congratulations, Colleen. And that's exactly what I want to talk about, because I think that's incredible. That's a huge accomplishment. And I want you to kind of tell us a little bit about that journey, how it started, right? And then how it went, just a little bit, because I'm going to be asking you a little bit questions to dive a little deeper. But tell us, how was that journey from transitioning from corporate to a full-time business owner?
Yes. Well, it was, all the things that you expect to feel when you think about doing something like that. There was a lot of initial just fear and hesitation, but my husband and I, when we got married in April of 2022, we knew that we really wanted to start a business together. I loved photography, he loved real estate and business management, and so we kind of blended those two together and came up with Three Palms Media. And I think one thing that we really did is, when we decided we were going to do this, we looked at each other and we're like, okay, are we in? And we're like, yeah, we're in. And we are all in. Like, we made a commitment to ourselves right then and there that, like, nothing will stop us. This is happening. And we knew we wanted to leave our corporate jobs. So we really just made a choice to give it everything that we got. And we worked really hard to do that. And then my husband was able to leave his job first in February. And then I was anchor, being able to roll off in October, which was really exciting. And there was a lot of like, when's the right time to do that? Is it a financial conversation? Is it a gut feeling? Is it both? And ultimately, we felt we had momentum in the business, and I had wanted to hold out on my corporate job till the end of this year, collect that year-end bonus, things like that. But honestly, I was miserable. Like, I wanted to do all things Three Palms, and we had the momentum, and we're like, we can do this. Like, it's just like anything else, leap of faith, don't look back, and just do it. And so that's what we did. And as soon as I allowed myself to make that decision, I felt a lot of relief, like a lot of weight off my shoulders. Like, okay, no matter what, we're going to figure it out.
I love that. I love that because, there's a lot of people that find themselves in that situation, right? Where they're here, but they want to be here. And it's that gap where they're like, okay, when do I make the jump? When is the right time? And sometimes that time, I mean, might not ever come, like for it to be 100% perfect, right? To have those, the financial like pillow, right? Because sometimes a lot of people wait till they have a certain amount of money to be able to make a leap of faith, or maybe they're waiting for a certain event to happen. I don't know. I mean, there's different reasons. People make up different reasons for different things, and sometimes it never happens. So you just took the leap of faith, right?
Yeah, I think that you could give yourself a ton of opportunities for excuses of this or that, or I need to wait to this, or it needs to be perfect. And when I felt myself doing those things, I just tried to be really honest with myself, which I think is key in life, let alone business, like being really honest with yourself and what you can do and what is really holding you back. And a
Mm,
lot of it was just fear based.
yeah,
And as soon as I was just like, we will figure this out, because you can figure anything out. It just takes time and
yeah,
attention. So I
yeah.
started to realize that, like when I looked at the very beginning of like us starting a business and us both leaving our corporate jobs, way too much to think about. Like that was such a big leap. So I started looking at things in more bite size. Like, okay, what do we have to do just even to get our LLC? And then what's the next step after that? And once I started looking at it in more bite sized chunks, I was like, oh, this is how people do things and build businesses. They do it one step at a time, and
Mm.
you build that confidence. It built that confidence in myself to where I knew that, okay, no matter what's thrown our way next, like we'll be able to handle it. Let's just do it. This is what we want. Let's just do it and we'll figure it out.
So it's been what, 3 months? 3 months since you've left.
Mhm.
Okay, so looking back in those 3 months, what would you say was your biggest challenge in that transition?
My biggest challenge was setting an entire new normal for myself, like reconfiguring my entire schedule. In my corporate job, I did work from home, so I was used to kind of having that discipline. But now it went to I'm everything. I'm the boss, I'm the doer, I'm the planner, I'm the marketer, I'm everything. And so it took a lot of, okay, how do I organize my days, my weeks, my months? How do I become my own boss? Nobody's telling me my goals. I have to make them up, and then I have to come up with a structure to hold myself accountable to checking in with those goals or metrics or things like that. So I think the most challenging part was taking the time to really set that up for myself, and then checking in with it on, did this work? How's it going? What do I need to change? And knowing that just because you made something once doesn't mean you can't change that going forward, like constantly reassessing. So just trying to figure out that schedule too, my schedule of when I'm getting up, what I'm doing, how do I also maintain leading a healthy life and not get so carried away in
Mm.
working too much, because that's a struggle for me, and it catches up to you. It's not sustainable.
Okay, so there's two things that I want to talk about with what you said. The first thing was the scheduling, because a lot of what we do here as real estate agents, it's all about your schedule. Like,
Yeah.
how are you scheduling yourself, especially if you're doing it full time? I mean, either way, full time or part time. I mean, if you're doing it part time, you want to create a schedule
Yeah.
around what your job, what it requires, right? Because you have to be doing something in real estate for it to for it to be successful. So scheduling is such a huge thing when you're an entrepreneur, a real estate agent, whatever business owner. How are you spending your time, and are you spending it, and are you prioritizing certain tasks more than others, right? Because you have to. For me, like what I've seen is, at this point in my career, I schedule everything on my calendar. Like, I mean, the time I wake up, when I'm dropping off my son at school, the drive time, like everything is on my calendar. And it's crazy because I didn't start off this way. It's something where, being aligned with Lucy and her, really instilling in me that, your calendar is now your boss. Like, you don't
Yeah.
have a boss, but your calendar is, you are your own boss. So I love that. And I love that you set the time and you realize that quickly, because a lot of people don't. Like, they go through like their career, and maybe months later they realize, oh shoot, maybe I should sit down and put put my life together in the calendar and really, have that established. And then you also mentioned, well, let's talk about that really quickly. So what did you do? Like, you sat down and you like pen and paper? Like, how did you like decipher that?
No, my Google Calendar is my best friend now. Like,
Okay.
definitely is my boss, but I tried to break it down. What do I need to be doing on a daily basis, a weekly basis, monthly basis, quarterly basis, in order to make sure that my business and my life is on track. And a lot of that was calendar blocking, like put a block on my calendar. And this is when, put your phone away. I'm doing this. Like, I am, updating our system, or I am prospecting or whatnot, and putting the blocks on my calendar really helped. And if something came up, fire drill comes up, which does happen, I make sure that I take that block, I move it to another day. Like, just because I didn't get to it that day doesn't mean I'm off the hook and I can't go back to it. So really like, I'm looking at my calendar constantly throughout the day. And things like that. But I think really sitting down and planning that, I mean, starting a new business and not ever being a business owner and things like that, like, it's so easy to get wrapped up in whatever you're doing at that moment. Like, you have to zoom back and look at the bigger picture too. And what responsibilities do I have on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, things like that, scheduling them into your calendar, making them reoccurring, learning all the tips and tricks about Google Calendar. I've always been on Google Calendar with my corporate job, but as I've hired employees, I found that they really don't know how to use a calendar, how to do all the functionality. And that was like a light bulb moment for me. I was like, okay, not everybody knows how to do this. So yeah, I think learning the best about that and following it.
Yes, that's so true. So you mentioned, one of the challenges is finding the balance, right, between work and life. And it's crazy. I love that. I love that you mentioned that, because it's a real struggle. It's a real struggle. The last episode of Agents in the Trenches, we were talking just on that, especially during this time where the holidays and stuff like that, a lot of people have to still work, but still want to enjoy their family and their time. So obviously it's like a work in progress. Like, this is something that is going to take a long time for us to, really find that balance, if there is even. But what have you found so far with that work-life balance?
Yes. So with the work-life balance, making sure that I'm putting in getting outside, getting exercise in, whether it's at the gym or whatnot, adding that on my calendar. I found that signing up for classes helped me because someone was expecting me to be there. And so putting those on my calendar, scheduling in dinners and things like that with my family, and especially my husband, since we work together on the business, it's really easy for us only to talk about the business. And so we'll have dedicated times where we're like, all right, Three Palms Media turn off, Colleen and Tim just as a couple in life turn on, and we'll sit there and we'll just talk about other things and things like that. I really struggle with it because I'm definitely somebody who like wants everything and wants everything now, but I understand that about myself. So I'm there to check myself on that when it is needed. Like, okay, not everything needs to get done right now. I think a lot of it is really truly writing things down and prioritizing things, and then getting the things off your plate that don't add the most value and that can be done by somebody else. So I think the quickest win for us was a virtual assistant. I now have 2 of them. Really have helped just take things off my plate that don't need my time, attention, and focus. Like, where am I the most valuable to my business? I think that's a big one with real estate agents, because there's so many things that real estate agents have to do. So, for example, like hiring a professional photographer to come in and do that, or take photos of you, things like that. Take it off your plate, give it to your virtual assistant, they can post things for you so that you can spend the time where you're most valuable to your business, which is probably building your relationships, finding new clients, and things like that. So I think the virtual assistant really helped, as well as just writing things I was doing down every day. And I'm like, what helped my bottom line? And what did I just think helped my bottom line? So I think that really, really helped us there. And the key was really spending a lot of time with my virtual assistant at the beginning. They're not like a magical wizard that you just hire and they know how to do everything. We really gave her a lot of training, and it paid off so well. She's trained my other virtual assistant. She's done so many things for us. So I think that that's really helped with prioritizing is knowing where your value lies.
I love what you're saying, because it's so true there, especially because I talk to a lot of newer real estate agents. Some, are still balancing between working and, trying to start up the business. And then others just went right in, right? Took that leap of faith. That's, I'm not going to lie, that's kind of what I did. When I moved down here, my intentions was to start my real estate business. Now I got here right before COVID, and the world just kind of like shut down. And of course, fear kicked in. And I was one of those people where it really did like take me back. So I needed a job. So I ended up just getting a job, did that for about 6 months, and it was completely miserable. I was so miserable. I was like, what am I even doing? Like, why did I even come here? Like, what? Like, this was not the plan, So then, long story short, I spoke with who is now my husband. He was my fiance at the time. But I spoke with him and I'm like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I really don't. And he's like, well, then what are you waiting for? Just go do what you want to do. And so I took that leap of faith and I went full force into real estate, and it's been so crazy. So I understand where you're coming from, having to learn these things, and maybe you knew a little bit of it, but now you're like 100% in it. And it's like, okay, I need to make sure I build these habits quickly, like earlier on in this career, so like that I can build on it. And then that's awesome that you're able to, hire those virtual assistants very soon, and training them up, so like that you can spend your time doing what you can do best, right, where it's most valuable. So I think that's awesome, and that can be taken for any industry, as a real estate agent, as a photographer, a business owner, whatever the case may be. Like, analyze, audit yourself. Like, where are your money making activities? Are you spending a majority of your time doing that, or all this other stuff? Because it's really easy for us to be in, the administrative stuff, and that takes a lot of time. So if we can alleviate ourselves from that, hire someone if you can. Do it and do it. Maybe that's what is like, maybe that's the gap between where you are and where you want to go, is like delegating some of the tasks that that you can just give off to someone else.
I think so. And investing in yourself, it is scary to be like, okay, well, I'm a new business. Like, I want to see me making money before I spend money. It just doesn't always work like that. Like, the saying's true, you have to spend money to make money. But if you have that underlying like core belief in yourself that there is no other option, like this is going to work, there's just nothing else is going to happen, but this is going to work. I think if you really believe that, you're going to get there. And I think investing in yourself, and if you're somebody who has a hard time understanding what is a value add, what isn't, like just overall getting organized, I really think that hiring a coach is like the best thing that you could do, even once you're experienced. Like, I think always having somebody who's above you, because there is always going to be somebody who's doing more than you, who's done things better than you and whatnot. That's just life. And then true of the opposite too. But I think that always having a coach to kind of lean on to help you is just like instrumental. I mean, we got one like right away, and taught us so many things. And like I just did not want to reinvent the wheel. Like, I'm not special. Like, I am not the only real estate photographer or person who's built a real estate photography company. Like, let me learn from other people who have done it, who have made mistakes, so I don't have to make those mistakes. And then I put my own twist on it. I'm not going to follow exactly what they do, but they're going to be able to give guidance to you so that you can make what you want happen.
And give you the foundation, right? Because they lay the foundation and it's up to you to build on it, right? So I think that's the best advice that I've heard. It's true. Like, hire somebody that's doing what it is that you want to do, and just get it done. Invest in yourself. I mean, we are strong believers of coaching and mentoring, because that is really the name of the game. It's like, okay, let me leverage this person's knowledge and experience, so like that I can learn from maybe their mistakes and not make the same mistakes.
Mhm.
Right, like that also can propel you and get you where you want to go faster.
Yeah,
So
faster, earning you more money in the long run. Because I think people are, coaches can be expensive just depending on what you're doing. Like, it can be a sticker shock, but it is worth it. It's worth it. If you really believe in yourself and you're invested, you're going to spring so much further ahead.
yeah, so let's talk about the future a little bit. What are your aspirations or your goals for 2024? If you want to share, like one or two that you guys are like going to be going full force on.
Sure. So in 2024, we want to double our business, basically. So we want to double everything that we did this year. And everything that we did this year was actually we more than doubled what our goal was this year, which was a surprise. But I think it's because we really just took those leaps of faith, and we had him quit his job and I quit my job and things like that. But this next year is really to just double our efforts. We are growing a team right now of a couple individuals that we're really training to be, mirror images of us, because we want to maintain our quality, our attention to detail, and our client experience, because client experience is definitely the number one thing to us. I think it's a huge reason why we've grown so fast, is because we love that part of the business, the relationships, and just providing a good, reliable, timely experience. So I think a big goal for us is to maintain that that culture at Three Palms Media, but also to bring in other individuals who can help us grow, because we are growing fast and we always want to maintain same week availability. We never want to be like, hey, we can't shoot your house for 7 days or anything like that. So I think that's a big one. And then another one is, like, I'm always going to be working on the work-life balance. Like, I'm always going to be working on, I think, a lot of like self-improvement. I just really believe that if I'm not good, like mentally and physically, my business isn't going to be good, at least not long term. So I think that I can get really like caught up in all the things I want to do at Three Palms Media. And so always balancing that I need to make sure that I'm good, so that my business could be good. So there's a lot of things like that. I think, actually a big goal for us is we're going on a vacation. So we're going on a big vacation. We're taking 3 weeks. We're going to Europe. It's going to be this summer. So my first real big goal is, how do I get our business to be able to be operating well when we are out of the country.
That is incredible. Well, that's congratulations. So you're going to go in the summertime?
Yeah, we're gonna go in the summertime. I have a girlfriend that is getting married. She's from Wales, but they're getting married in England. So we're going to England and then Spain.
How fun. So that would be fuel, right, for you guys to really kick it into high gear, to make sure everything is in place for that time. So
yes, that's a big goal. And stuff is going to break, I'm sure, when we're gone, but sometimes you have to let stuff break so you can come back, diagnose it, and then fix it. Maybe I wouldn't have known that otherwise way. But yeah, so I think doing that. And then I feel like we like to be transparent with like our clients and our audience. Like, we are big on social media and keeping updates and being like real and authentic too. I mean, all of my clients are business owners too. Like, they get it. Not everything always goes their way. Like, they make mistakes in their business. Like, we're humans too, and we're just trying to figure it out. I think sharing that kind of helps build our relationships too with our clients too, because they feel like they're less, alone.
Yeah, and it's, I love that you guys are going to, you have a lot of goals, right? Especially with personal because it's true what you're saying. Like, you have to work on yourself, so like that your business can also reflect, the improvement that you're making, and all, like, doubling your stuff. Like, yes, let's triple that. Like, forget doubling, let's triple it. Why not? So that's really awesome. I'm super excited. I think you guys are great. You've been one of our loyal sponsors for the Realtor Mastermind since we launched it. And it's been awesome to see, like, get firsthand experience on the work and the quality that you guys offer. And it's been really awesome. And I'm always thinking of you guys. I'm like, okay, like, how can we get them more involved? Which is why I reached out to you for Agents in the Trenches, because I'm like, I love her story. I love you guys' story and how you went from, corporate and working to being business owners. And I'm sure that there's a lot of people, in our audience that are maybe in that spot where they're like, I'm working, I'm not happy where I'm at. I want to actually own my own business. Maybe I want to become a realtor. Maybe I want, to open up a shop or something, whatever, and they're like in that gap. I think hearing someone like you and hearing your story and how, you didn't wait for everything was perfect to make the leap of faith. You took the leap of faith and then you guys figured it out. And sometimes that's what you need. You need somebody to kick you or whatever, you know what I mean? And say, hurry up, let's get going, to do that, because that was my story as well. Like, I would have stayed, maybe working had I not, spoke to my husband and say, okay, kick me, because if not, I'm not gonna get up.
Talk about what you want to do. Share it with people. Let it outside of your brain, because those people will hold you accountable, or they'll motivate you, or they'll know somebody who can help you.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm super grateful that you accepted our invitation to come on here and share your story. And I'm super excited to, be like one of the people, like, to like the first row to see it, like, as come into fruition. Because I remember when I think it was the first Realtor Mastermind, or the second, I'm not too sure, but you mentioned that you were still working and you were, one of your goals was to transition. And then when you told us you transitioned, we were like, yes. So it was awesome to see that happen. And then it's going to be so incredible to see what you guys, work on for the next year. So thank you so much. If anyone wants to get a hold of you for your services, or Tim, how can we get in touch with you?
Yeah, sure. So we are always on Instagram, all over Instagram. That's where you can see all of our work, and we'll respond there. So that's at 3 Palms Media. And then you can visit our website at www.3palmsmedia.net, or shoot us an email at info@3palmsmedia.net.
Awesome. Well, do you have any departing words for our audience? Anything you want to say, mention, word of encouragement, or anything like that?
Yeah, I just think that if you really want to do it, allow yourself to find a way. I mean, I spent 10 years working in a corporate job that I didn't like, and it took me a while and some life experiences for me to just have the guts to actually do it. And you just have to do it and figure it out afterwards. And I also think that when I do get overwhelmed with the business and just feeling like it's taking over my life, I try to really remember that I run my business. My business doesn't run me. Like, think of the reasons why I wanted to become a business owner, and that my business works for me in my life so that I can have a better life, not the other way around. Because I know I can get wrapped up sometimes in just business, but this business is for my life, to have a better life for me, my husband, and my family. So I think I like to keep that in mind. But that's all.
Thank you so much, Colleen. I really appreciate your time, and I hope we can get you back on with Tim.
Yeah.
Maybe we could talk about, anything else that's in your heart. We love to have you back on and, just share your goodies and your knowledge. Maybe we'll do, like, I don't know, before you leave, we'll do a checkup. Like, okay, where are we at?
Yeah. Did we make it?
Yes, I know, right?
Yeah.
I would love that. Well, Colleen, again, appreciate you. Thank you for, just your support, your heart, your everything, like everything that you do, we can tell that your heart is in it. So thank you so much. You're an incredible person.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on today. And I will see you at the next Southwest Florida Mastermind.
Let's do it. January 24th, right? You're going to be there?
Yep.
Yes, awesome. And for everybody who's watching, I just want to say January 24th, we're going to have our very first, Southwest Florida Real Estate Mastermind Network, and it's going to be vision builders. So we're going to have a time for people to craft their vision boards for 2024, which is going to be awesome. So you don't want to miss it. January 24th, event starts at 1 and it ends around 5:30. We're going to have a time for some networking afterwards. So come on, it is free. We're going to share the Eventbrite link here in the comments very shortly. So make sure you register, bring a friend. And if you want to connect with Colleen, she will be there as well, taking pictures and capturing the beautiful moments that we're going to have there. So you don't want to miss it. I hope you guys have an amazing new year and a very prosperous 2024. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next Friday. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.